Hallo und herzlich willkommen. Hier ist wieder euer Sergeant Waters. Ja, ich entschuldige mich hier erstmal. Und zwar, weil ich ja so lange keine Videos mehr hochgeladen habe. Also habe ich mir mal gedacht, dass ich heute mal ein Special mache. Und zwar geht es um eine typisch englische Automarke, Aston Martin. Also habe ich mir gedacht, machst du mal ein Let's Show auf Englisch. So. Also habe ich jetzt gemacht. Pläne sind alles ausgedacht. Von nun an werde ich nur noch Englisch reden. Now, the car I'm talking about is this beauty, the Aston Martin One-77. And it is just already gorgeous to look at. It's got a 7.3 litre naturally aspirated V12 engine, and it's important, this naturally aspirated. The same found in the Mercedes SLS, all the same configuration, so no direct injection, no turbochargers, no nothing. Just pure raw power. The motion of the engine gets put through a 6-speed semi-automatic gearbox. Again, typical for Aston Martin supercars, it's flappy paddled. One moment please. There, flappy paddled. And together this combination puts out 700 horsepower. 700 horsepower from a completely naturally aspirated engine is immense, and it's so much in fact that it's the most powerful naturally aspirated engine in the world currently. That has enough force to get it from 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and to give it a top speed of, well, it says 354 kph, but I don't think so. I thought I once got it up to 355-ish. So the top speed, again, typical for this game, isn't quite that precise. Now, the body of this Aston Martin is completely handmade, and when I say handmade, I mean with a hammer on an anvil and just clobbering it until it looks this perfect. The only thing that isn't handmade on this car is the space frame, because if you try to create a space frame by hand, it just wouldn't work. Again, and well, yes. The Aston Martin 177 is basically a compilation and combination of the best of what Aston Martin can offer. It's the most sophisticated, it's got the biggest grade of technology, it's the most powerful, it's the most sporty, and so on. This attention to detail is also seen at the rear headlamps. For starters, it goes right across the back of the car. It's one continuous ribbon of light, and it's formed, at least at the edges, like the Aston Martin symbol, which is here, wings. And it does look like it has wings. Yes, now to the name 177. Many ask themselves why 177. Well, most of them thought, well, one because of the price tag of over £1 million quid, or over $1 million, euros, pounds, whatever, it's over $1 million, and 77 because nobody knew. But it turns out that the 77 is actually the production number. It's unlimited offer, 77 cars, and they thought themselves, well, you're gonna own one of these 77 cars, so it's 177. So that's a bit obvious-ish, if you know. Yeah. Actually, this motor show I always talk about hasn't actually tested this car. They haven't got hand of one, so I can't tell you what lap time it did. I can't tell you what they say, so I fully have to do this one myself, like I did on. What did I do? What was it again? Don't know. I did a car once that had the same problem. Now let's go into the interior. As you can see, there's a lot of leather. The seats are bucket seats, so racing pedigree. The center console is a masterpiece. It is actually what someone I watched at a forum earlier, and someone said this is like sex on wheels. And from where I'm sitting, except for this, maybe because of it's because of the game, because the carbon fiber looks a bit iffy and rubbish right now. Maybe in real life it looks just fantastic, but in here, well, apart from the carbon fiber, I have to say he's right, because everything's beautiful, nothing's edgy, no edges, everything's curved, and it's just wonderful. Now, to a thing that I personally don't like, it is this switch. It says power and start, and you start it by putting a rectangular, well, almost, yeah, it's sort of a glass brick, to be honest. It's small, and that is the key. And you start it by putting that in there. You can already see it, it's already in, with the Aston Martin wings on it. And you push it. And when you push it, there is, here in, I think on the left, there comes power, beauty, and soul. And that is one thing that I don't personally understand. Why do they have to do power, beauty, soul here instead of just starting the engine altogether now? And I can't show you this in the game, but in reality it is just a bit, well, unnecessary. It's like with TVR. With a TVR, if you want to start the engines, first the ref counter goes up and down again, then the speedo goes up and down again, and then you drive, or at least then the motor starts. So it's just so unnecessary for this power, beauty, soul malarkey that it isn't, well, it's just a distraction. Next, what I don't personally like are the mirrors, the outside mirrors, because they did all this for better aerodynamics, but, well, it's a bit like these Formula 1 thingies that are just bangling along and don't get used very often. They have to do it, but it just looks iffy. It just looks like it is on a lamppost, well, a thick lamppost, and just there, and it looks like it's an afterthought. Well, enough of the technicalities. Let's see how it is on the track. So here we are, same place as usual. Ahead is the straight. Gonna check if, yes, I've already had them down. Now first, behold the engine noise. It is just astonishing, it just shouts with power. Well, 0 to 60 or 100 kilometers an hour. Let's see. No one behind me. That's 100. 150. 200. 250. That's 100 kilometers to go. $300. Changing up, last gear. Turn 22, 20, 30, turn 40. Gonna have to brake soon. Yes, gonna have to brake. And it's got. Well, I've got it up to 350. That's close enough. And the brakes are astonishing. I've braked about where you see lampposts outside the front window, and I've stopped here. Now, that's extremely good for the brakes. Next, cornering. Well, because of that power, you have to be careful how you use your right foot, or in my case, my right thumb. Because all of this power are naturally aspirated. That means if you press the pedal only the slightest bit, the power will come, and not just slowly, but in such aggression. You can't believe it, but I've just managed to get around without crashing. But I've seen so many people driving this in races and failing, and it's just impossible. Now, let's see if I can max this car on this part of the road. Come on, 20 more. And astonishingly for today, there is close to no traffic. And there, I've already gone over. It's 361 and gone off road, so it's down again. But there, I've gone already over. And that is, well, astonishing for this car. It's an Aston Martin. Aston Martin weren't always the cars that were laid out for speed. They were the cars that were laid out to be an track car altogether that can be used on the road. So, and again here the cornering. If you do know how to drive it, then it is just the biggest fun in the known universe. And with this soundtrack, you just don't want to change gear. But you have to, because otherwise, at least in the real world, the engine would explode. Speaking of the devil, didn't I just say there's close to no traffic? Well, at this point, normally I say whether you'd buy it or not, or you should buy it or not. And I'm a bit, well, split. I've got two opinions about this. If you want a fun car to drive with, well, in brackets, every day, then it's just a laugh. You can do power slides with it that aren't possible in four-wheel drive cars. You can do all sorts of things, but the problem again is, well, power. It's just the power, because if you don't know how savage the power can be, then you're off and you're just flying. And obviously you should know the difference between handbrake and normal brake. And that's what I just did. Because the price tag of this thing is, in this game, $1.4 million. 1.4 million. There are better cars than this, with much lower price tag. For instance, the Veyron, even that. Oh, does it? No, it doesn't. Or I personally have to say the Ariel Atom. the first car I've ever made, and it's as a fun car, or well, not really as a fun car, but a track car. It is just better, even though it only costs, I think, 40,000, $40,000 ish. However, it's not as much fun as this. It's much too technical. In this, you've got this nasty power, this nasty sound, well, not nasty, but savage sound, and you just put your foot down and the whole world just goes backwards. And that's the thing that struck me. It was just such a laugh to drive. So it's just, as I said, as a track car or for races, it's not recommendable, but for the sheer fun of it, it is, you just have to do it, because at least test drive one. And it's just such a laugh if you get it round corners. Because again here, I'm going in circles, and it just doesn't matter, because you, in other cars like in Ferraris or in Lamborghinis, if they would be here, it would be so much more, well, serious in this in the driver's seat. It's impossible to understand. And in this, you just drive along here at 270-ish kph, and it just doesn't matter. Or if you crash like this, you just laugh and continue to drive and don't think, oh shit. Well, at least that's what I think. What you think is completely different matter, but that's what I think. And well, wow. It is just so amazing. It's just such a tower of power, and it's just awesome. It is just awesome. Now, team completed one final sprint. If the traffic would allow it, which it doesn't, obviously. Now, power! Come on, give me a straight, not a corner. Not the... Oh crap. Well, I didn't manage to max it. Well, I don't care, it was just the best fun I've had in days and weeks and months. Well, this is your Sergeant Waters. See you next time.